I was going to ask, do you think Christianity can evolve to modern society without
modern society
becoming,
is built off of Christian milieu.
okay,
I mean,
without
you wouldn't
becoming,
have the West pretty much as it stands. You know, the reason why some LGBTQ people can go out and do it because Christianity said everyone is equal. And then slavery, evangelists in the 1700s, they the ones, 1800s, they the ones started the non-slavery movement, right? You wouldn't have the current construct of society today if it wasn't for Christianity. More people are Christian that grew up in the West in their values ethically than they even want to admit. But it's so ingrained into the culture that it's just normal. So you look at things like, no, this is just normal how it's supposed to be. No, but without the presence of Christianity, it will be totally different. So not only does Christianity fit with modern society, you wouldn't have a modern society as constructed without Christianity.
Yeah, you actually, you see something interesting. You see that frame of thinking in Dominion, right? Which is a really good book and is a good introduction into the way that, sure, an agnostic historian, Tom Holland, not the Spider-Man actor, but the agnostic scholar and historian Tom Holland describes in his book Dominion how Christianity was a type of ethical depth charge, right? It started out really deep, and then as a result of Christianity, you had these huge ramifications in terms of anthropology, the way that we view the value of human beings, the way that we get the concept of human rights as some sort of universal good that's essential, which is also more like a Christian philosophical term, but essential to human beings. So I think Tom Holland's view in Dominion, even as an agnostic historian, really, he kind of makes the claim that Christianity formed the ocean in which the modern West swims, but because people have been grown up in the ocean, they don't question where the water came from. And so I would say that, yes, according to many agnostic historians and even atheistic historians, and like New Atheism, Myth, History, I can't remember the full title of it. Really good, although it's over $100, but still worth it. An atheist historian talks about how, there's like these myths about Christianity not being, modern, anti-modern. And even he describes, no, this is actually the foundation of the modern West, ethically, philosophically, and even in terms of like empiricism. So yeah, I would say that the philosophical tradition is pretty clear on that one.
Okay, so you think like secular Christians are still good Christians? They abide by Christian law?
I don't think no one is good. Not one man on this earth is good.
Oh, okay.
So they can be Christian, right? But I wouldn't just call them good. That's the whole theme of Christianity.
I'm not even good.
No man is good. I'm not good. David's not good. Eric's not good. We're all Christian. Now that doesn't mean we're devoid of morality, right? But the thing is, we can justify our reality, unlike you being a atheist, right? You can. I'm not saying you don't have morals, but what's the justification of your morals? What is it grounded in? What did it come from? What's your epistemology when you think back and say, hey, my morals come from this and this is where it come from? Because in your worldview, we're all going to the ground and be worm food. So what's holding me not going and steal the other man's clothes or his food? And you would say, well, it's the betterment of the society that grew and that evolved into us. So what? Who gives a rat's patoot? We're all going to the ground. While I'm here, I'm going to make the best of it. And if I'm stronger and bigger, faster than you, or I hold the bigger gun, who's going to stop me? And why should you want to stop?
Real quick before you
That's
respond,
exactly what Muslims say to me.
I want to give you time to respond to that, but I do need to address something in the chat. Buddy, you're not blocked. You can come back on. You just need to let other people have a moment to speak. Now, Mike, go ahead.
I was just saying it's fascinating. That's exactly what Muslims say to me too, that you at least tempered it with, you may have morality, but where does your morality come from? It's not objective. That's the whole thing. Why I don't think any of these religions are that compatible with modern society unless we take the governance of the religions out of our modern society. Can
What do you
can
mean by
Christianity
governance
swim?
exactly?
Can Christianity swim in the modern society that is secular, that separates them? Sure. I think
That
the
wouldn't,
Muslims probably can too.
but
If
if you look, just like my brother David said, if you look at secularism, it came from Christianity. There wouldn't be
Sure.
a secularism if it wasn't Christianity. This is
Sure.
like the proverbial
Jeff.
biting the hand that feeds you, right? Because this is what gave birth to secularism. But then you turn around and say, well, that's bad. We don't want that no more. Now that we got secularism, we don't need Christianity no more. But the confirmation of your ideal and your worldview comes from Christianity. It's just a more liberal, right, worldview than, because Christianity is inclusive, but it's exclusive as well. You know, we want everyone to come, right? But it's still exclusive on what you can and can't do. So if you want this, everybody do whatever they want, don't come to Christianity, because that's not you know how we run things. But everyone is invited. There's no off limits to no one. Everyone can come in, but once you in, you gotta, you know, toe the line and do what as the religion ascribes you to do.
Yeah.
Okay,
As a matter of fact, and I really like you, Mike. I actually think that, especially compared to a lot of the people that we get on our programs, I think that you're significantly more straightforward and calm, which I appreciate. I think in my studies for the last couple of years have been atheism, so I've been trying to understand the atheist mind and different versions of different naturalistic worldviews a bit more. I think, you know, I would say, yeah, Muslims will probably say some of the same things that we say about morals to an atheist. And that's because, you know, a broken clock can strike right twice a day, right? Eventually, even on those points, they can at least make a correct philosophical evaluation that moral ontology and moral epistemology, right? So the foundation of what a moral fact is, and then how we come to know moral facts as true versus false. Those things are questions that are legitimate questions to propose to any worldview, including the various versions of the atheistic one. We would just say that, you know, technically, and I think Michael Roos and Paul Draper are pretty well-known atheist philosophers. I respond to them in my second book, which isn't out yet, but they give pretty reasonable descriptions of their own atheistic conclusions. And they say, you know, that in Michael Roos's case, you can't know anything to be true. You can't know reality as it properly is under an atheistic, naturalistic worldview. And then Paul Draper argues for a world of indifference, kind of like Richard Dawkins, where there's no true sense of morality. It's all just pragmatic for survival. And I think for a lot of us, and I feel like even perhaps for you as well, Mike, if we said that morality was just about helping ourselves to survive and there's no sense of objectivity to it. Now, yes, a lot of atheist philosophers agree with objective morality, but I'm just saying that some of them don't have any explanation for why it would be objective, the grounding, how we come to know those things. So as a result, this is where you get the debate between inspiring philosophy and, I can't remember, was that not Andrew Schultz, but it was an atheist philosopher in the last like 2 or 3 months. And they argued what's better for modern society, this exact debate, Christianity or secularism. And the data is actually quite clear that secularism is not able to provide the sufficient moral foundations, or even just from an evolutionary perspective, the evolutionary foundations for modern society, due to lower birth rates in secular systems and foundations, higher rates of intercontinental and interstate conflict, armed interstate conflict, which the data and research through meta-analysis seems to show. So I would definitely recommend looking up Inspiring Philosophy's debate on this. That was within the last couple of months, because it actually addresses this very question. What's axiologically better? What's, just by in terms of value, better for the modern world, Christianity or secularism? And I think it's a really eye-opening debate. I learned a lot that I didn't know until seeing that debate and doing the research on it.